In the Tuscan countryside, as you can see, the cars are on the grid for the very first time in the very first round of the all-new Euro 4 Championship. A very warm day here. That has been the big talking point for the first of 3 rounds for 2023. Before we race, before we get to the details, let's talk to the driver who took pole position, Kasper Stuka.
Kasper, the best way to start a new championship from pole position, what's your approach to this first raid and indeed the series?
Yeah, it's a great way to start this championship. Great work by the team in qualifying. We feel confident before the race and we'll try our best and for sure aim for the victory.
Thank you.
The pole will start from pole position for the German team. That is Kasper to the bottom left of your screen. In fact, it is an all-German team, front row of the grid. US Racing start 1-2 on the grid for the first ever Euro 4 race. In fact, we have to go back to Brando.
Ugo, very close to pole position, but regardless, still tremendous speed all week. Are you confident of overcoming the 2 US Racing drivers and starting the Euro 4 series with a victory?
Yeah, didn't manage to get pole. Unfortunately in quali, but we're still starting up front in the top 3 in all 3 races. And I think the pace is quite good, so it should be an interesting race. It's very hot, so tires will definitely struggle with degradation, but I'll do my best and try to go forward.
Thank you, good luck.
Yes, the American driver Ugo Chukwu for the Prema Power Team. Just getting back to that point, Brando Badoer starts out at grid 10. He is the first driver either not with the all-conquering US or Prema teams. He's back on grid 10. This is the grid. Kasper and Akshay, 1-2 for the US Racing Team. Then Ugo and James on the second row for the Prema Racing Team. The third row of the grid is Arvid Lindblad, the Red Bull Junior. The Brit, who starts alongside the 2021 World Cup Racing Champion from Finland, the Ferrari Junior Tuukka Tappinen. Nicola Lacorte, the Tuscan here in Tuscany, is alongside Zachary David, also for US Racing. We go to Rashid Al-Dahedi from the Emirates, and Brando for Van Amersfoort Racing starts out at grid 10. Gianmarco Pradel from Sydney is alongside the Frenchman Raphael Narak for RHGP. Ricky Liu, the Chinese driver. Il Siciliano Alfio Spinner. Jack, the Queenslander beaten. Ivan Dominguez from Fatima in Portugal, also for VAR. Frederick Lund, Griffin Peebles, Nandavid Birambakti, Matteo Quintarelli, the Emirati-based Italian driver, also for RSGP, out of grid 20. Tina Hausmann from Zurich in Switzerland is alongside her AKM Motorsport teammate, David Larini. Pablo Sarrazin, Aurelian Abels, Ismail Ahmed, and Diego De La Torre, the Mexican, who was on the podium in his native Mexican or North American F4 Series at the Mexican Grand Prix circuit in 2022. Joins us on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, Diego De La Torre for AKM Motorsport, starts on grid 26 in car 86. Great to have your company as the cars make their way down through the back part of the circuit on this, the formation lap. This is an all-new championship. This is the European Continental F4 Series, the Euro 4 Championship, a throwback to the good old days of junior single-seater car racing, the likes of Formula Ford, Formula Vauxhall, Lotus, and in more recent times, I guess you can even include the Formula Renault Euro Cup and F3 Euro Series. It is a European Championship, 3 rounds for 2023, right here at Mugello. And then we go to Monza, the home of the Italian Grand Prix on September 17. And then Barcelona, Catalonia in Spain on the 22nd of October. That's the championship final 3 rounds to launch the brand new Euro 4 Championship. That's the all-new logo in the bottom right of your screen. The championship presented by WSK Promotion, who have been the official promoters of the Italian Formula 4 Championship since its inception in 2014. Also the Formula Regional European Championship, which was launched by WSK Promotion, as we see Jack Beaton go rallycross. In fact, it was Brando on the formation lap as the field starts to bunch up behind the pole sit-up. Kasper Stuka. So a 3-round championship. Yes, WSK Promotion bringing the Italian F4 Championship since 2014. Take a look at this on the formation lap. The field's starting to bunch up and Brando into the grass, avoiding action. That was a big moment. Also, almost ran into the back of Zach in car 20. So grass on the Pirelli tyres. Control tyre supply for the all-new Euro 4 Championship. In beautiful sunshine, we're expecting a top temperature tomorrow of 35 degrees Celsius. The track temperature is 20 more than that at the moment. It is almost sweltering here, 55 degrees Celsius. There is Zach going through in car 20. So the first 9 cars on the grid, led by Casper in car 37, either for the US racing team or the Prema racing team, I should say. Brando, who was off the circuit a moment ago, his car is fine. Grid 10 for the Italian. But it is the Pole who will start on pole position. The Orland-backed driver, Kasper Stuka, his 3rd year in the F4 Series, make or break for the US racing team driver. You can see the heat haze rising quite dramatically here at Mugello. There's James Wharton in the background, car 13, who will start from pole position for race 3 tomorrow afternoon. Ivan Dominguez from Fatima in Portugal, also for the Dutch team, who are here in force this weekend. We wait for Ismail Ahmed. There's Diego De La Torre at the back of the grid. The American-born Brazilian-Belgian, the Ferrari Junior Aurelia Nobels, just ahead of Ismail Ahmed for the VAR team. There is BVM Racing with Griffin Peebles and Il Siciliano Alfio Spina. The dawn of a new era in junior world single-seater motor racing. Welcome to the Mugello Grand Prix circuit in Bellissima Toscana. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. The 5 red lights for the first time in the Euro 4 Championship. We race. Fantastic start from Kasper Stuka as Ugo goes up the inside and goes wheel-to-wheel with Akshay Bora from the outside of the front row of the grid, but he'll have to cede the position to Ugo's super start from Arvid. And the Red Bull Junior moves up into position 4. His Prema teammate on the outside. Perfect start from Kasper Stuka. He leads the first ever Euro 4 Championship race here at Mugello. Ugo into 2nd place. Arvid trying to take a position away from not only Akshay Bora, but James Wharton as well. Good start from Alfio Spinner in the background. You can see the BVM racing car. Car number 9 started back on the 7th row of the grid, already making up places. There is Rashid Al-Bahedi. A clean start as they go down the hill for the first time. Great start from Kasper, back to Ugo, who moves up into 2nd place. There is Arvid Lindblad going through the Emirati, Rashid Al-Bahedi. And there on the middle of your screen, Alfio Spinner. He may well pick up another one here. Rafael Narak, the French driver for the French team here in Italy, as Alfio goes off the road. He throws it all away. Oh, what a disaster for the Sicilian. He made a fantastic start, was up inside the top 10 from grid 14, but ran off the road quite badly. He's rejoined. There's his teammate, the Chinese-born Australian driver Griffin Peebles, just a few places behind. Alfio Spinner was inside the top 10. He's lucky to still be in the race. Kasper with a nice lead. His teammate back in position 3. And there is Arvid Lindblad behind James Wharton. As they come across the line for the first time, it will be Kasper Stuka, the Polish driver for the German-US racing team, who will lead the first ever lap of the Euro 4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion, together with the Automobile Club of Italy, here at the home of the 2020 Tuscan Formula 1 Grand Prix. A clean start as we write a new chapter in junior single-seater racing history. Tuka Tabanen in the background. That is Brando on the outside of Zach David. Brando trying to move up on the inside of the Filipino. There's an opportunity. Watch Tuka in car 8, just sits there behind a 2nd generation racer. There is Arvid Lindblad, the Red Bull Junior, just behind the Ferrari Junior, James Wharton. Moved down the inside from Tuka, and Brando just slams the door closed on the fin. Lap 2 of the first of 3 races, the first of 3 rounds for the 2023 Euro 4 Championship here at Mugello. Lindblad in car 23. Both these drivers, the Red Bull Junior behind the Ferrari Junior, they're both for the Prema Racing team. They're also in second place with the McLaren Junior, that is the American Hugo. But it's 1 and 3 for the US racing team. Casper, a perfect start from pole position and now settles into a rhythm. They go down through Corantayo. Let's take a look at what happened to Alfio Spinner. Just ran out of road. He was not the only one. Looks as though Nicola Lacorte was also involved in that, as was Tuka Tapanen. Gathers it back up. Spinner has come across the line in 15th place, just ahead of his BBM racing teammate, Griffin Peebles. Lap 2 for Kasper Stuka. The gap last time, 1.2 seconds, as Hugo ever slightly gives the slipstream to Bora. This 1 kilometre long straight in beautiful sunshine here. Top speed around about 233 to 34 k's an hour. Not quite as quick as the previous rounds at Monza. Or Imola, in fact, where the cars were doing, in fact, fastest through the speed trap. It wasn't at Monza, surprisingly, it was at Imola. In the Italian Championship, this is 252 kilometres an hour. So around about 20 less than that. On 2 of the fastest European circuits. Bora in position 3. Lindblad just sits in behind James Wharton. These 2 drivers will start from pole position for races 2 and 3 tomorrow. But pole position for race 2. James pole position for race 3. There is the Red Bull Junior, the 5-time WSK kart racing champion. Off memory, I think all those titles for the Kart Republic team. James Wharton. There is Rashid Aldaheri. Also I think he also won 5 WSK karting titles. First year in car racing for the driver for the Yas Heat team, together with the Prema Racing team from Abu Dhabi in the Emirates. One of 2 Emirati drivers here, together with the Italian-based, or the Emirati-based Italian, Matteo Quintarelli. This is the McLaren Junior on screen, Ugo Ugochukwu. The gap falls back to 1.3 seconds. Clean start for the start of the Euro 4 Championship. As they come down through Bucine, the final corner, and the long uphill run, the 1 kilometre straight here at Mugello. Lindblad gets the slipstream from the back of Wharton. The battle rages on between Australia and England, not only over in the Ashes, we have to mention that, but James, the Australian, is defending from the English driver. Arvid has a big look down the inside. James just holds his nerve, and Lindblad backs out of it, but the blue and yellow machine, the Red Bull car, will be getting big in the mirrors of car 13, James Wharton. There's Rashid Aldaheri. Good drive from Rashid, he's in P7. From David, Bagoua, Tapanen, Narak, just a position outside the points. Here's the French driver, Raphael Nadak. Gianmarco Pradel, one of 4 Australian drivers. On your screen is the Sydney sider. He's in P12, also for the US racing team. Dominguez, loose, Spinner still back in position 15 after running off the road on the opening lap of the race. James Wharton, who started 2023 with victory in the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship, taking that title. In the very last race, it came down to a battle between himself and the driver right on your screen there, Tuka Tapanen, the 2021 World Kart Racing Champion for the Tony Kart Racing team. As we see Ricky Lou stopped out on the circuit, has gone around, fires it back up, and we stay green. We'll try and get an incident what happened to Ricky Lou. He was fighting with Ivan Dominguez and just ahead of Alfio Spinner. They both go through. Here is Matteo Quintarelli. The 2 BBM cars on the middle of your screen. Biram Bhakti, the tie, tries to go by the Sicilian, will get a run coming onto the straight. Biram Bhakti gets the slipstream right behind Alfio Spinner. Second season in car racing for Il Siciliano, a super talent from the south of Italy. As we see Lindblad down the inside and finally takes his Bremer Racing teammate, and he says, have some grass, mate. James off the road, but he holds on to it. Lindblad's on the outside, that becomes the inside, and the Brit goes through and takes the Australian. Lindblad now moves up a place, he's in position 4. Wharton back to 5, then it's Nicola Lacorte, the Tuscan, in car 47, here in Tuscany. Race winner already in Italian Formula 4. Trying to repeat that in the Euro F4 series. Rashid Al-Baheri, we were speaking about James Wharton taking the UAE F4 title in Rashid's home country. Rashid was too young to compete in his home series. It's his first season in car racing. Multiple WSK titles for the Paralympic Motorsport team in World Kart Racing, and Rashid Al-Baheri in position 7, car 14, just ahead of Zach David. Brando P9 and Tuka Tapanen rounds out the 10. A clean start as we approach 1/3 race distance, the first ever race, the first round of the Euro 4 Championship. And the all-in-back pole, who started from pole position, has got 1.4 seconds over the McLaren Junior from New York, USA. His name is Ugo Ugochukwu. Back to Bora in position 3. We'll check the gap as they come across the line. You can see it was 1.5 seconds. There's Lindblad in the background. The McLaren Junior car 3 started grid 3. Disappointed to miss out on pole position in qualifying. Kasper Stuka, the gap, 1.4 seconds, give or take a couple of thousandths. There is Border. Off the road, one of the Van Amersfoort racing cars. It was Jack Beaton. And the Queenslander goes rallycross. Holds on to it though. Jack back on the road behind his countryman in position 17. There are the BBM Racing Team cars going through. Peebles so close to the back of Alfio Spinner. Jack just behind. The sportsmanship, the warning flag for Arvid Lindblad for that fight together with James Wharton. He's gone through and made the place. In fact, he's pulled away nicely and now sets off after the second driver from New York, Akshay Bora, the first of which is Ugo in car 3, started on grid 3. Akshay Bora, the Singaporean-American with the Indian background, younger brother of Nikhil Bora, also racing with us in the Formula Regional Championship this weekend. His father Bunty watching on. I'm not sure if we've seen him at the track here this weekend. I'm sure he is with his two boys racing. There is Rashid Al-Baheri, just defending from Brando Badoia, a pole position in the Italian series. There is Border, also competed in the UAE series to start the year. At the start of 2023, Kasper Stuka took victory in the Formula Winter Series down on the Iberian Peninsula and would love to take his second F4 title in his third year of Formula 4 racing. Comes across the line, the gap was 1.3 seconds. Ugo in second place. It's down to 1.2. Lindblad on your screen in position 4 with a 50.176. Arvid is 0.3 of a second faster than the race leader, Kasper Stuka. Slight lock-up of the front right from the driver who will start from pole position for race 2 tomorrow morning. Just drifts the car ever so slightly as they come out of Lucco, Poggio Secchio, down into Borgo San Lorenzo. Lacorte, who has won in the world of Formula 4 racing. The gap is coming down between Bora and Lindblad. Akshay is being caught by Arvid. Sideways in the background, that was absolutely spectacular. Hold on to it, James. Very warm conditions here, and they will burn the Pirelli tyres quite dramatically. 56 degrees Celsius is the track temperature. We are expecting in excess of 60 degrees Celsius tomorrow track temperature when we have, well, around about midday, we are forecast 35 degrees Celsius. Lindblad has reeled in Bora. The gap has come down dramatically, 0.8 of a second. It will be less than that when they cross the line. as we approach half race distance, the first ever race of the Euro 4 Championship. Lindblad, who's also leading the Italian Championship, which concludes here at Mugello in October. There's Rashid El Dahedi going through. Badoea, Tappanen, P10, Rafael Nadak, Gianmarco Pradel, car 12 in position 12. One of 4 Australian drivers in the field in the Euro 4 Championship. As the gap comes down again, 0.3 of a second just in that sector. There's Brando, just ahead of Tuka, trying to catch Rashid. Gianmarco Pradel, just ahead of Ivan Dominguez. Down into San Donato. The 1 kilometre long straight here at Mugello. How fast would it be if it didn't have such a dramatic incline? They climb the hill. Going up through Luco, Poggio Secco, Borgo San Lorenzo. The corner's named after the local townships nearby, where the original circuit, built back in 1920, you know I love history, which raced up until 1970. The original track at Mugello had a lap length, I kid you not, of 66 kilometres. The new track inaugurated back in 1974. These days hosting the Italian Motorcycle Grand Prix. Of course, also hosting the Tuscan Formula 1 Grand Prix in 2020 in front of, maybe there was 250 spectators here that day. In a bizarre time in world history. An official FIA Grade 1 circuit, a Grand Prix circuit, as Border goes in very wide. He misses the apex. Arvid is now right on the back of Akshay. Surely the podium is on offer for the Red Bull Junior from the Kings England. He is bearing down on the back of the first of the 2 drivers from New York in USA. Stuka, the gap is down to 0.9 of a second. Ugo is catching the pole sitter. Half race distance, the first ever race, the first round of the 2023 Euro 4 Championship here at Mugello. Lindblad gets the slipstream now. We'll check the top speeds as well. Gets the toe from Bora, tries to defend, keeps the car in the middle of the circuit. Lindblad at the last possible moment has a big look, but the American holds him off, and again, that's concerning from Lindblad. Yes, he's quick, but has locked up the front right once again. Just over 230 kilometres an hour through the speed trap. Fastest lap of the race is Arvid, 150.176. And he's just a few tenths of a second, 1 car away from getting onto the podium in the first ever Euro 4 Championship race. Down the hill into Borgo San Lorenzo. Lindblad, that's Arvid on the back of Akshay. Down into Arrabbiata 1, Arrabbiata 2, the corners which literally translate as to Angry 1 and Angry 2. And then they climb the hill, this circuit with dramatic elevation change. They climb up into Scarperia, Palagio, down into Correntaio. One of the better passing opportunities on the circuit coming up right now. You can see Ugo has caught up to the back of Kaspar. The Pole, who started from pole position, had 1.5 seconds on the American, on the McLaren Junior. Ugo may well become the first ever Euro 4 Championship race winner. He's got Kaspar in his sights. Lindblad likewise with Bora. Down into Buccine. As we hear the tyres absolutely screeching for grip. Every part of the racetrack. Incidentally, look at the sand on the outside of the final corner coming onto the straight. That's how you deal with track limits right there and then. Lindblad on the back of Bora and Ugo on the back of Kaspar. The gap is down to 0.3 of a second. The American has taken 1 second out of the pole, who is still leading as we move into the second half of the first ever Euro 4 Championship race here at Mugello. Ugo, 0.2 of a second, basically for the last few laps out of Kaspar Stuka, but he's still in position 1. US Racing, Prema Racing 1, 2, US in 3, Prema in 4, 5 and 6, also with Wharton and LeCourte. Further back in the pack, Dominguez looked to have been. going off the circuit. That was a wild ride. And comes back on. In fact, it was car 30. It was Frederick Lund, the Costa Rican Dane, who joins Van Amersfoort Racing for this, the first Euro 4 Championship round, one of 6 cars for the Dutch team of Frits van Amersfoort. A busy weekend for them. Also competing at Silverstone in the FIA F3 and F2 Championships, as we see Ricky Liu, who was facing the wrong way just a few moments ago. The Chinese driver comes into pit lane in car 66, and it looks as though he's about to retire. The first retirement from this race, which is heating up into the final third. Kaspar has been caught by Ugo, who will be ruthless if he has half an opportunity. Arvid likewise on the back of Akshay. Millimetres away from the sand. The drivers know exactly where the limit of the circuit is. The sand dictates that very effectively. As we go back to the fight for second place, Ugo, the familiar bell helmet of the American, gets the slipstream just over 230 k's an hour. Up into turn 1, San Donato. Lindblad has a big look at the back of Bora. Not this time, and Akshay holds off Arvid just for the moment as we move into the final third. Race 1, round 1, the first of 9 races, 3 rounds for 2023. The Euro 4 Championship. US Prema, and also the team from Vicenza in 5 with Wharton, 6 with Lecorte, Zach David 7, Aldeheri in 8. In fact, 9, because he's just been passed by Tuukka Tappinen, and Brando Padua rounds out the 10 just ahead of Rafael Nadal. Good drive from Rafael. Off screen at the moment, but he's just a point outside the points at the moment, in position 11. Rafael Nadal also racing in the United Arab Emirates for F4 Series, raced in Formula Renault in 2022 in France, his native home country, and also won racing the Italian Series at Monza in 2022. Rafael Nadal, car 76 for R-Race GP. A wider line for Border, but it seems to work. He gets the run on the exit, much tighter from Lindblad, but still can't get by. And Border is defending for his life. Ugo into Buccine, into the final corner. That's not a passing opportunity yet, unless the driver in front makes a mistake. There is Wharton, Lecorte 5 and 6, and Zachary David behind. This time, Ugo getting closer and closer. I remind you, the gap was 1.4 seconds. You can see it's barely 4 car lengths as they come uphill this 1 kilometre long straight here at Mugello. An opportunity, and now Kaspar has to defend. Goes right, goes left. Ugo says no problem. Around the outside, Kaspar locks up. He'll be slow on the exit. Bora puts the car in the middle of the circuit. Side by side, wheel to wheel, the American on the outside. Has to relent, now tries to get the run. Kaspar from pole position under enormous pressure. The McLaren Junior within millimetres of running into the sand. Stays in second place. Kaspar under attack from Ugo. Border from Lindblad. Still off the podium, rides the bumps here at Mugello. Wharton and Nicola Lecorte in the background, 5 and 6. So we've got Poland, the United States in second and third, England, Australia, and the Italian Lecorte just ahead of the Maltese-based Filipino driver Zachary David. Car 8, Tuukka Tappinen in position 8. The Finn, the former Tony Kart driver who won the World Championship in 2021 in the south of Spain, ahead of Rashid Aldeheri, still Brando in position 10. Another opportunity into Corantayo. Again, this wide line from Border, it's getting wider and wider as the tyres are being tortured here on a beautiful sunny day, almost approaching 34 degrees Celsius. But Kaspar still in position 1. Again, gets the slipstream. Kaspar just checks the left side mirror. All these cars, of course, powered by Abarth, a 1.4 litre turbocharged Abarth engine, putting out just under 180 horsepower or thereabouts as Lindblad gets the slipstream in the background. Arvid on the back of Akshay, who goes right, goes to your left. Lindblad around the outside, they go wheel to wheel again. He locks up the right front. Border just eases him out into the marbles, and the Brit's starting to get frustrated, sends it down the inside. Can't quite do it. Border under attack. Watch Wharton and LaCourte in the background. They're catching this battle. They were a good 400-500 metres further back. Now the gap between Lindblad and Wharton has come down. It's just on a 1.5 seconds. If Border continues to defend, well, James and Nicola will be right there to fight for the final position on the podium as well. Casper still in position 1, and the American can't get by just yet. We move into the final quarter of the first Euro 4 Championship race. Again, the sand flies, the dust flies in the background. They've kept it clean for the first ever Euro 4 Championship race, which is great to see. Look how close Lindblad is. Again, I'll just repeat it. That's exactly how you deal with track limits. The drivers don't need to be told. They know if they run off into the sand, into the grass, they'll be slow. It is self-policing. It is very effective. For the most part, we've had a very clean start to the Euro 4 Championship race. Ugo wants to take victory. Has a look at the back of Casper down into the final corner. 6 minutes plus 1 lap left on the clock, starting to get frustrated. Here's the McLaren Junior. Gets so close to the gravel trap, keeps it clean, accelerates. 4th, 5th, 6th gear as they come across the line. The gap 0.2 of a second, 231 k's an hour. Casper keeps car 37 in the middle of the circuit. What to goal at the last possible moment. Now he tries the outside. Wharton and LaCourte are catching this battle for 3rd place. Sideways from Casper. Ugo sends it. He's on the outside. It becomes the inside. Watch him try and cut back. Fantastic racing in the first ever Euro 4 Championship race here at Mugello. He gets a run. Casper from pole position under all sorts of pressure from car 3. Great start from Ugo from the grid. Was immediately into 2nd place. Casper Stuka built up a nice lead of 1.4 seconds, but it's come down to just a few thousandths of a second in the dying stages of the first Euro 4 Championship race. Border, who started grid 2, he's back in P3 defending from the Red Bull Junior, Arvid Lindblad. Wharton 5, LaCourte 6, David Tappinen. Brando goes up into 9, Rashid Al-Daheri from the Emirates in P10. Watch into the right-hander coming up. This is where Border takes the very wide line. Almost close enough for Arvid Lindblad to dive down the inside. And just putting the nose of car 23 through, but he can't quite do it. And Casper, under immense pressure, has held his nerve brilliantly. The pole from the American. The Singaporean American in P3. And the driver from the Kings, England, in P4, just off the podium. Still, we believe 3 laps remaining, 4 minutes plus 1 lap in the season opener, the new Euro 4 Championship, combining the best drivers, the best teams from across the European continent. And it's the first of 3 rounds to launch the 2023 Euro 4 Championship. Ugo has a big look at the back of Casper. Good clean driving from the first 4, the first 6 in fact. They've raced brilliantly. No contact from anyone. We have lost, though, Alfio Spinner, who was off the road earlier on, and also Ricky Lou, who retired car 66. And we're getting news from race control that there is a double waved yellow flag in turn 13, the final part of the circuit, up into Corantayo, where Border takes that very wide line. So that'll be a reprieve of sorts for Casper in P1 and Border in P3. Double waved yellow. In fact, it's on the exit of Corantayo. Going down into beyond the curves. The final few corners on the track, that is, turn 13 to turn 14. Nicola in the background on the back of James. James will be frustrated with this. He will start from pole position for race 3 tomorrow afternoon. Arvid to start from pole position for race 2 tomorrow morning. At the moment, the Brit is off the podium. Border superb in P3. The yellow flag in the background being waved there. They can't pass. They can close up. Well, in theory, and it is a VAR car which is parked on the infield. Frederick Lund, who is out. Then we go back green as they come into Buccine. Oh, it's been a big one as well. Frederick Lund, look at the left rear, it is destroyed. Frederick is out of the car, so obviously he's okay. This is good race management. Our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, saying let's keep it green. It's just a double waved yellow. That's excellent officiating as we race green to the checkered flag. Casper defends Ugo on the outside. Again, the pole under immense pressure. Ugo desperate to try and go through Luco, Poggio Secchio, down through Borgo San Lorenzo. The dying stages of the first Euro 4 Championship race. Car 3 started grid 3, he's in second place. Casper the pole, who started from pole position, praying for the checkered flag to come out. A double waved yellow after Frederick Lund retires in the dying stages, and Casper sideways out of the the left-hander on the absolute ragged edge as he climbs the hill. So likely there will be 2 laps at the end of this one. They might just get across the line. Of course, Casper can't relent, but he's praying for the checkered flag to come out. Ugo needs every possible opportunity. He goes wide. There is a double waved yellow flag coming up right there. So Casper has got all of a few hundred meters of reprieve. Again, excellent officiating as we race green. There has been no safety car intervention. There's the green flag in the background coming up into Buccine. I'm sorry to say, Casper, you've still got 2 laps to defend from the McLaren Junior Ugo Chukwu. They'll come across the line with around about 22 seconds to go. So another lap. Ugo, a little bit further back, he'll still get the benefit of the slipstream. Casper under pressure. Ugo will be ruthless if he gets half an opportunity. Watch him dive down the inside into turn 1. Too far back, not this time, as Casper locks up ever so lightly. Holds on to it. This is where Ugo gets the run, but it's a better exit this time from the all-on back pole. Watch him send it down the inside. Ugo, that was ambitious and also mature to back out of it at the last possible moment. A spectacular launch from Ugo. If nothing, he is rattling Casper Stuka. Still the pole in position 1. In the background, Arvid Lindblad going wheel to wheel with Border. He's off the road. Border has held on to it. It's getting messy in the dying stages of the first Euro 4 Championship race. That is the end of 30 minutes. So we believe this is the penultimate lap. Last lap next time around. Still double waved yellow. Coming up into this corner now. As you can see Akshay Bora with the sportsmanship warning flag as he just fed a wheel and some grass to Lindblad, who will be furious. The Red Bull Junior still off the podium. The green flag flies in the background out of the yellow section. Lund is out. He joins Spinner as Lewis and Blue as the first retirement, as Casper Stuka gets the last lap board, the first ever Euro 4 Championship race. This is it, 5 kilometres to race. As both Casper and Ugo try to become the first ever Euro 4 Championship race winner. Ugo gets the run. Casper was not so good out of the final corner that time. He'll go to his right, to your left, as he defends. Ugo says no problem, and the American tries the outside. Casper Stuka has got track position. This is where Ugo is awesome. They go wheel to wheel, side by side on the final lap of the race. He's done it. Ugo, what a pass. The American on the very final lap of the race. That was just brilliant. Ugo Chukwu, the McLaren Junior, on the last lap has gone through with a brilliant pass and taken the lead away from Casper Stuka. Is there something left? Is there revenge from the pole? It looks not, because Ugo is already going away. He's already pulled out 4, 5, 6 car lengths. Casper is gone. Ugo will win the first ever Euro 4 Championship race. What to drive, what to move. He rattled him. an ambitious and just a few corners prior. And he's finally gone through on a corner where traditionally you cannot pass. Casper's gone. He's sideways. Watch this. Stuka went wide. This is where Ugo had him on the previous few laps. He was on the outside. It became the inside. Ugo did not lift, and the American goes on through. He will win the first ever Euro 4 Championship race here at Mugello. The final lap, the final few corners. Lindblad still off the podium. Going down through the yellow part of the circuit. Now the green flag in the background. Lindblad will be consigned to position 4. Out front though, the driver from New York in the United States of America for the Prema Racing Team. Ugo Ugachukwu with a fantastic pass. Writes his name into junior motorsport history. Ugachukwu becomes the first ever Euro 4 Championship race winner here at Mugello. Stuka across the line in second place after leading for 99% of the race. And Border, incredibly, Akshay holds off Harvard for the final step of the podium. It all came alive on the final lap. Huge congratulations to the McLaren Junior. Commiserations to Casper. Drove superbly. Starting from pole position, led right up to the second, or the final lap. Out of the second corner, he was a little bit sideways on the final lap. This is how he did it. Was a little bit wide. Ugo aggressive. We told you he would be ruthless. He was just that, a brilliant pass. He was on the outside, it became the inside. And as they came out of Lucco into Poggio Secco, the American took the lead and went on to win the first ever Euro 4 Championship race here at Mugello. Ugachukwu wins, Stuka second, and Border also for the US racing team in third place. Well, when it's his day, the American is near on unstoppable. He has written his name into junior motorsport history, and the American, ironically, wins the first Euro F4 Championship race. Commiserations to Casper, still second in the first of 9 races ahead of Border. Lindblad, Lacorte, Wharton, Nicola actually getting past James in the dying stages. David Tapanen, Brando Badoer, and Rashid Aldeheri rounds out the 10 points in the first Euro 4 Championship race. Frederick Lund, Alfio Spinner, and Ricky Liu, the 3 retirements. There's Arvid in the background, Ugo in the foreground, and the McLaren Junior takes victory here in beautiful sunshine here at Mugello. Grazie, Goofy. Well, it all came alive in the dying stages. Casper Stuka did everything right from pole position. He led up until the second corner of the final lap of the race. The team saying they were a little bit nervous then. Third place to Bora in the first Euro 4 Championship race. Another ADD driver, we should point out. Same management company as Ugo. Casper, the all-and-back driver from Poland. But Ugo from New York, USA, the McLaren Junior, takes the victory in the first Euro 4 Championship race.
So an incredible duel and a final amazing overtaking that led you to victory.
Yeah, I got a really good start and made myself into P2. And then, yeah, Stuka was really quick at the beginning, so I was just trying to manage my tires as best as possible to go for a challenge at the end. And I tried many times into T1, but he did a very good job. He defended very well. But on the last lap, I managed to go around the outside and take the lead. And yeah, super happy. The car was really good. It was working well. So big thanks to the whole team. And yeah, we try to win another 2 races tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The first Euro 4 Championship race, this is how it unfolded from pole position. Casper Stuka made a perfect start From the inside second row of the grid, Ugo Ugochukwu up the inside and took Bora for P2 into turn 1. Kasper Stuka initially building a lead of 1.4 seconds as Bora had to defend from Lindblad, which he did for the entirety of the race. The Brit trying to go around the outside of not only he but also James Wharton on the opening lap of the race. Good start from Rashid Al-Dahedi also, who would ultimately finish inside the top 10. Alfio Spinner, a great start, making up 5 places before running off the road. And ultimately, Il Siciliano would unfortunately retire. He'll be back for race 2. Out front, Ugo Ugochukwu cut the lead down dramatically. It was 1.4 seconds. He took tenths out of Kasper. Tried desperately lap after lap. That was an ambitious move. And intelligent, mature as well to back out of it. Otherwise, it would have ended in tears or more, literally into the gravel. Kasper Stuka looked as though he would hold on as Lindblad fought with Bora for third place into the final lap. Kasper Stuka just a little bit wide. Ugo did not need to be asked twice. Was on the outside, it became the inside, just kept the right foot buried. And from there, the American was gone. He won the race right there on the final lap, took the checkered flag, and writes his name into history as the first ever Euro 4 Championship race winner here in beautiful sunshine at Mugello. America, Poland, Singapore, England, and the first Italian, Nicola Lacorte. James, one of 4 Australians. He's P6 from the Filipino, Zachary David. Tuka Tapanen, Brando Badoea. So 2 US racing drivers on the podium, the second and third steps though. P1, the McLaren Junior from the United States for the Premier Racing Team, Ugo Ugochukwu. Mr. Luca De Donno, the president of WSK Promotion, presenting the third place trophy to Akshay, second place to Kasper, and the winner, Ugo Ugochukwu. And the most famous national anthem in world sports. A great start to a brand new championship, round 103, the Euro 4 Championship here at Mugello in bellissima Toscana. 3 rounds, 9 races, Mugello this weekend. We're back for race 2 tomorrow morning at 20 minutes past 11 tomorrow night. Tomorrow, local time, and at 6 o'clock tomorrow for race 3. Thanks for your company. We'll see you live from Mugello tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much. And now